Hello and welcome everybody, I am one proud Bavarian, and today I will explore the stewardship lifestyle with the help of one of the legends of Crusader Kings III, Duke Vratislav of Bohemia. He rules a land that has been in the hands of his family for generations, and he is the perfect candidate to learn what it means to go all in on stewardship. In this video, we are going to cover only the basics of how the stewardship lifestyle works, so that you can easily jump in yourself and lead Vratislav's dynasty to greatness after the video is done. While we admire the beautiful Bohemian countryside, let's talk about what it even means, stewardship. To become a great steward of the realm, Duke Vratislav will have to be a master of many trades. He must build up his lands into a beacon of prosperity, negotiate with his quarrelsome vassals, and place the right people into the right positions to guarantee a good administration. Every piece of gold that he invests in his country could be worth 1,000 pieces if done right. In short, Vratislav will teach us today that a single amazing steward that brings wealth to his lands can plant the seeds of prosperity for all of his descendants, even if they should turn out to be less than competent. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Now my goal here today is to show you how to essentially double our income. Currently we are making 16.2 ducats every month, and I would like this to be over 30. That sounds impossible if you have no idea what is going on, but of course we're gonna get it done, I promise you. For starters, we have to examine who we are. Duke Vratislav II is 34 years old and has plenty of years left here on Earth. He also happens to be a Midas-touched steward. This means that he is absolutely excellent at administrating his own realm and at making money, and you can see this here in his stat as well. However, it could always be better, and to become better at something, at whatever it is you want to do in CK3, you should be choosing a lifestyle via this interaction right here. There are 5 different lifestyles, and of course all of them are interesting, but we are going to focus on stewardship today as mentioned, because only in stewardship will we make so much money that we can eventually swim in it. What you can see right here are the 3 stewardship lifestyle trees. These lifestyle trees will give you different perks once you unlock them, and wow, they can be pretty powerful. Avaricious, the tree that we have already fully filled out, is concerned with making just money straight up. That means if we go to war we will make money, that means that I can demand payment of people that I have an obligation with. I can also actually go on and simply extort my subjects if I want to be a little bit cruel. This is avaricious. Architect, on the other hand, is less so concerned with immediately making money and more so with building up your land. This tree can make it cheaper to build up your land and just make your land better, but more on that in a second. Administrator, last but not least, is largely concerned with helping you out with your vassals, your counselors, and so on. So basically, getting the most out of managing the people around you. Today, we're going to focus on Architect, as we already have Avaricious, which again is a great tree, but Architect will allow me to build up my domain even more. Now, to actually progress in these trees, we have to select a lifestyle focus that then will accumulate some experience. Thanks to us having an amazing stewardship education trait, we get even more experience in this lifestyle. We can select any of these 3 focuses, and for the time being, I'm just going to go with wealth focus. Monthly income is monthly income. I can't really say no to this. Alright, and with the groundwork laid, let's take a look at, well, the resources that matter to us. Piety and prestige are important, don't get me wrong, but the obvious focus will be our monthly income. You can see, now that we have chosen our lifestyle focus, we already earn 18.2 bucks per month. Most of this, by far, comes from our domain. Our domain are all of these holdings that you can see in blue right here. If you click the button in the top right, you can also see a list of all these holdings and how much they are making you individually. This is really important to keep track of so that you see what is your most important holding by far. On a secondary level, we have vassal taxes. So this is something that is paid to us by, for example, Count Ota the Handsome, one of our vassals. And then lastly, we have church holdings. Church holdings is exactly what it says on the tin. That is whatever is taken in as money in our bishoprics. We're then getting the bonus for wealth focus and have to pay every single month money because we have some troops. So these are the most important sources of income for us. But let's find out how we can make more out of this, because like I said, I want to go over 30 in this video. As the Duke of Bohemia, we have a couple of vassals. For example, we have, as mentioned, Count Ota the Handsome and Count Konrad of Brno. These 2 vassals can actually give us more money than they currently are. You can see right here, he is earning a healthy amount of money as well, and I would like a bigger share. Once we select him, we can right-click him and then select Modify Vassal Contract. This will bring up this window that looks very complex, but don't be too frightened by it. All that you should care about right now is this up here. We want the feudal taxes as high as possible. We could simply raise his taxes and that is that, but as you can see it would cause tyranny, and causing tyranny is bad if you want to have a stable and peaceful realm, because every vassal will essentially look at you and say, wow, my ruler is really unfair, I hate that guy. So instead I will say, you know what, you give me more money and then you can give me fewer troops. That is a fair exchange and he's very much content with this. Having done this now, you can see that we are making marginally more money. This might not seem like much, because it kind of isn't, but every penny counts. So, let's go over to Count Ota and all of our other vassals and do this to them as well. Another crucial thing to consider if you want to earn more money quickly is to check out your council with this button right here. This opens basically an interface with all the important people that directly aid us in administering our realm. Let's take a look at Duchess Svetoslava. She is our wife and she is supporting our rule. But we can tell her to refocus and instead directly aid us in managing our domain. This will help us because it will give us a higher stat when it comes to stewardship, giving us even bigger bonuses. The other thing that we can do to earn more money right here is to take a look at our steward. Now, I don't need to change anything here because, my god, our steward has an amazing stewardship level. Should he be worse in your playthrough, then just click this button right here and select the best one that you can find. You can sort the list by clicking this button right here. The steward has several tasks that he could fulfill to benefit us and our income. Namely, right now he is collecting taxes. This makes it so that the holdings in our domain, so all the holdings right here with the blue underlining, make much more money for us. In this case, almost plus 15%. This is extremely powerful because our domain is huge. And now there is but one thing that I want to do before we unpause and see whatever the game wants to throw our way. We have squeezed our vassals, we have organized our council, but of course there's something even grander. We are ultimately just a part of the Holy Roman Empire as a vassal, which means that much like we are the overlord of our vassals over here, Kaiser Heinrich IV is the overlord of us, and there are some benefits that we can get out of that relationship. If we take a look at the council, we see first of all our council, and then secondarily the council of our liege, so the council of Kaiser Heinrich. If you look at this, you can see that we are on the council, which is of course prestigious and nice. It also gives us a bunch of other benefits. But, let's be honest, these modifiers don't mean too much for us because none of them make us a ton of money. So I will resign from the council. After that, I will right-click Kaiser Heinrich and modify my vassal contract with him. In this case, we can see that, wow, our arrangement is amazing. We don't need to give him any money or any troops. We just accept that he's our overlord. Now let's turn this into a straight benefit. This right here is amazing. Guaranteed council rights will make it so that I can demand a particular position on the council to get benefits from that position itself. Now, demanding this also means I have to give him something. In this case, I will say you can have some levies when you go to war. It's completely fine. And, well, it doesn't cost us anything, so that's perfectly reasonable. We can now right-click him, go to 3 more down here, and then select the option Demand Council Position. Since we are in a position where it is written in our contract that we have a right to be on the council, and we just resigned, so we aren't on the council, I can demand to be reinstated as the steward. And my god, these benefits are amazing. All of a sudden, we are making 23.5 bucks. This is a really strong start. And you know what? With all this money in the bank and all the money coming in, I feel ready to unpause the game to see whether there are any issues coming up. And lo and behold, the issues come our way, and the issue's name is Jaromir. Our brother is our Prince Bishop, and at the same time, he is also our rival. Now, this has lasting consequences, because the Prince Bishop is the person responsible for gathering all the money in the bishoprics in your realm. And if your Prince Bishop dislikes you, you probably guessed it, he will keep the money instead of giving it to you. In this event, we now have a choice. We could say our friend Jan will instead become a Prince Bishop, but the Pope will hate this, and we don't really want to turn the Pope into an enemy of ours. We could also say, you know what, Jaromir, let's make peace, I will pay you some money, and we can be friends after that. And I think that is exactly what we're about to do. Sometimes you have to spend some money to make some money. Because, well, after we've given him this money, he now has a positive opinion of us, and all of a sudden starts giving us the money gathered in our realm, which is perfect. We are already up to 26.9 income every month. Making peace with the family can be a great choice. But of course, there is more. It just so happens that the Slavic marches, so the duchies of Meissen and Lausitz, once were promised to us by our liege Kaiser Heinrich. and yet he seems rather lazy and not really willing to fulfill that promise. Our options are now to get some claims on these duchies that we have to press ourselves, or to simply take this with, a lot of grace, and effectively getting prestige and legitimacy, neither of which are bad, mind you. But hey, we are rich, we can afford troops, and why wouldn't I take a claim on these lands? If we take a look to our north, we can actually see these two duchies. Meissen and Lausitz, as they lie before us, would be great additions to our collection. But you can see that they also have plenty of allies. Now, I do believe in the idea of me being able to defeat them, but it's not going to be easy. While war is not the main focus of this video, I will let you know that, well, since we have a lot of money, I don't need to have my own costly army. When I am planning a war, I can simply hire mercenaries and then march with them to success. In this case, I will take a look at the available troops and then see that I really like the Prussian band of Galindia, since they have a commander that is great at sieging, and that means the war will last for a shorter amount of time. Hiring mercenaries instead of building your own army is cheaper in the long run, since they don't take any constant maintenance like our unraised men-at-arms do. It also means that, well, we will have to go to war rather soon, since mercenaries are hired and then stick around for 3 years and then they will leave you. But I promise you, I will beat these people up, and probably quite easily. And you can see right here why it pays to be rich. We are still making a massive amount of money while fielding a gigantic army, especially compared to our enemy, who at this point is actually losing money every month. Now, as war rages, it will of course be brutal, and you can see that our enemy has besieged one of my vassals' holdings. Let's take a look at what happened here. When a siege is complete, the county control goes down. This will replenish over time afterwards, but look at the effect it has. Barely any taxes will be collected here in Dresden anymore. Meaning, if they were to reach one of my own counties and siege that one, it would cost me a lot of money. If you are interested in money making and stewardship, make sure to stop your enemies before they can siege your own territory. If they do reach my land and siege it down, I will take my army and defeat them before they can finish it. I told you, my friends, you should not have attempted to siege my territory. Now you are going to perish. And there goes war number 2. And like I said, since we already were rich, even during wartime, we started making a ton of money. Now is the best time that we learn how to actually use it. For starters, if your realm has too many counties within it and you are not a king or an emperor, that will lead to something called overextension. This overextension will be a direct negative debuff for your income, which is exactly the opposite of what we want. So that means we have to become a king. Luckily, if we click the current situation tab right here, that should be pretty easy. Since I just conquered duchies, I can immediately create the kingdom of all Bohemia, making it so that the overextension simply goes away. Perfect. And with that taken care of, let's talk about the topics of domain. Now, managing your domain can be quite complex, but here are the very basics. If we click on Prague, we have the County of Prague. This county is made up of several baronies. These baronies can be cities, they can be castles, and they can be bishoprics. They can also be empty, in which case you can build one of the 3, but let's not worry about that too much. What really matters is that every county you hold has the maximum amount of control. That is 100. If they don't, and we can see this here in Dresden, then you just don't get all of the payouts that you normally would be getting, since you just literally don't control the county. When it comes to immediate changes that you can do so that you get more benefits out of your personal domain, we are primarily talking about buildings. For example, in Prague we have a small hill fort. You can see this primarily gives bonuses to our units, and we have hillside fields. These actually give us a direct amount of money every single month. And building more buildings of this sort will just generate more money right away as soon as the building is finished. For example, right here we could build any of these buildings. And I'm gonna be honest with you, any of these would be fine. Most of these buildings are pretty powerful. You just have to choose whatever you need in the moment. In our case, I will choose to build hospices in all of my directly held holdings. Because, well, they give me more money, they give me piety, and they give me plague resistance. All in all, a pretty good package. Thanks to the handy outliner that we opened earlier, I can select all of the holdings that I hold directly to then quickly select hospices and build them there. And like I said, building buildings is the biggest thing that you can do to get immediate benefits out of the holdings you already have. If we take a look at this, boom, all of a sudden our new buildings have been finished and our income has gone up drastically. It really can't be overstated that if you build up your holdings that are in your personal domain, you will see a massive increase in your income. Every investment you make in your personal domain will be a huge boon for your descendants and strengthen your dynasty going forward for hundreds of years to come. And yep, would you look at that, we have a monthly income of 40 ducats, which is absolutely insane. If we take a look at our liege, we can see he gets a meager 9.8 every month. We are eating better than the Holy Roman Emperor. And folks, that is exactly where I'm going to leave you. I hope that you now have a better understanding of how to build up your realm, of how to squeeze your vassals and get every last penny out of them, and of course how to utilize that money, both in building up your realm and maybe more importantly, expanding your realm. I will leave you right here, and I'll see you later, alligator.